Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for me to talk here today. This is our baseline. Pre-treatment staging of gastric cancer is integral in selecting patients for appropriate evidence-based treatment. Recently, KGCA released a revised version of the previous fifth evidence-based gastric cancer guideline in JGC. The first three statements are about staging. The accuracy of EUS in a recent Cochrane review. The differentiation between T1A versus T1B, the sensitivity was 87% and the specificity was 75%. In the evaluation of lymph node, the sensitivity is 83, which is acceptable, but the specificity was less than the expectation, 67%. This case shows our typical approach for initially metastatic cancer. After endoscopy and detailed pathology evaluation, CT and PET was done. The initial regimen was Gelox and Opdivo. This is the overall treatment algorithm in the recent Korean guideline. Regarding the staging, EUS and PET-CT are mentioned as optional modalities. When do we need EUS for initial staging of gastric cancer? I'd like to split my discussion into two parts. Role of EUS before ESD. In a recent audit for gastric cancer treatment in Korea, surgical resection was done in 60% and endoscopic resection was done in 40%. More than 10,000 cases of EGCs were annually treated by ESD, not only in tertiary hospitals, but also in general hospitals. At my institution at Samsung Medical Center, gastric ESD is done about 10,000 cases a year. In the recent 5 years, the rate of gastric cancer among ESD was 73%. The rate of additional surgery after ESD for gastric cancer was 15%. The accuracy of EUS has been evaluated in many institutions. In this Yonsei University Severance Hospital study, EUS T-staging was correct in 63%. The rate of overstaging was quite high, 36%. The good news is that the major factors for incorrect EUS diagnosis were undifferentiated type histology and larger tumor size, which are usually out of the indications of endoscopic treatment. A 45-year-old man was referred for a small elevate-type lesion with a slightly unclear margin. The histology was tubular adenocarcinoma moderately differentiated. The third hyperechoic layer looked interrupted, which suggested submucosal invasion. Surgery was recommended at the local hospital. What do you recommend? I suggested diagnostic ESD, but the patient wanted surgical treatment. Subtotal gastrectomy was done. Final pathology was EGC with SM2 submucosal invasion without lymph node metastasis. In the review process of this case, I found some areas of submucosal invasion in the initial endoscopic forceps biopsy specimen. The existence of submucosal invasion is not formally reported in the forceps biopsy pathology. In my opinion, definite submucosal invasion in forceps biopsy can be considered as strong indicator for surgery rather than ESD. I hope pathologists report these findings in their formal report. A 59 years old man was referred. In US, the third hyperechoic layer was interrupted, so surgery was previously recommended. However, I recommended a diagnostic ESD. The procedure was done as usual. And the final pathology was EGC with mixed histology, 28 millimeter, and the depth of invasion was muscularis mucosa. There was no recurrence. I'd like to introduce an interesting real-world experience of EUS before ESD. Doctors at Korean National Cancer Center evaluated the effectiveness of EUS-based plan compared to an endoscopy-based plan. Overall, the appropriate treatment selection was 75 in the endoscopy-based plan and 71% in the EUS-based plan. For endoscopic mucosal cancers, the appropriate treatment selection rate in the endoscope-based plan was 88%, while the use of EUS-based plan decreased this rate to 81%. So the authors concluded that EUS may not be necessary before treating differentiate type EGCs, especially in endoscopically presumed mucosal cancers. In this somewhat old European guideline, there is a mention that precise endoscopic evaluation is sufficient, with EUS reserved only for selected cases. Based on previous discussions, I can say that endoscopic evaluation without EUS is sufficient for mucosal cancer with differentiated type histology. However, indications of ESD is expanding in terms of depth of invasion and histological types. For EGCs with differentiated type histology, ESD is frequently performed for small submucosal cancers when the depth of invasion is less than 500 micrometer. Recently, diagnostic value of EUS for suspected submucosal cancers were evaluated in Japan. The overall accuracy for SM1 invasion was 75% for EUS and 58% for conventional endoscopy. However, the rate of overstaging among indicated cancers were quite high, 20%. This is the treatment outcome of the previous study. Based on EUS findings of SM2 or more, surgery was done in 72%. Among them, 16 cases were actually mucosal or SM1 cancers. Mucosal or SM1 lesion is suspected in conventional endoscopy. EUS does not change the final diagnosis. If SM2 or deeper lesion is suspected in conventional endoscopy, additional information from EUS can influence their final diagnosis. Staging T1A and T1B with EUS is quite tricky and an operator-dependent procedure. In this interesting study from China, saline injection before EUS improved the diagnostic accuracy for T1B staging in superficial esophageal cancer. Diagnostic accuracy was 93 in saline injection EUS and 65 in conventional EUS. Professor Park at Sangye-baek Hospital examined the efficacy of saline injection EUS in IGCC. The diagnostic accuracy in this small single-center study was like this. Although it is less than esophageal cancer, saline injection helps. Randomized multicenter clinical trial is ongoing by Professor Kim, Samsung Medical Center. This is a typical example. In conventional EUS, it looks like SM cancer, but after saline injection, there was no evidence of cervical invasion. In the final pathology, it was a poorly differentiated tubular adenocarcinoma limited in the mucosa. Are there more factors influencing the treatment option other than depth of invasion by conventional endoscopy and EUS? In order to predict the risk of non-curative ESD, we developed a risk scoring system. We found 6 independent variables such as pathology, size, axial location, circumferential location, macroscopic morphology, and ulcer. Based on the relative risk, we made a scoring system for each variables. This is the correlation between the total risk score and the predicted risk of non-curative ESD requiring gastrectomy. These factors can be considered when choosing the initial treatment options for early gastric cancers. I'd like to briefly comment on the clinical importance of submucosal invasion found in forceps biopsy. A 51-year-old male was referred for on 1.5 centimeter size EGC to C with shallow central erosion. ESD was initially considered. However, submucosal invasion was clearly seen in the forceps biopsy. What would you do? I recommended surgery, and the final surgical pathology was SM2 invasion without lymph node metastasis. SM2 invasion. Until now, it's not clear whether evidence of submucosal invasion in forceps biopsy is a contraindication of ESD. Further data is required, but I usually send the patient to surgeons, especially for borderline cases with SM invasion in forceps biopsy. US in IGCC. There was an interesting study from China that the accuracy of EUS-based T staging is influenced by TNM staging is used. In Western countries, preoperative therapy is generally recommended for tumors that are staged as EUS, as T3, 4, or as lymph node positive disease, whereas immediate surgery is generally recommended for T1, 2, and 0 tumors. In Eastern countries, however, upfront surgery followed by adjuvant chemotherapy is more commonly used for most advanced gastric cancers without definite distant metastasis. So the role of EUS is different in East and West. This is a famous neoadjuvant chemotherapy trial for advanced gastric cancer in Korea. Even in this trial, clinical staging was mostly based on CT findings without EUS. Non-interventional EUS is mostly reserved for borderline early gastric cancers in Korea. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to conclude my talk by saying that gastric cancer staging is mostly based on conventional endoscopy, CT, and PET-CT. EUS has some role in selecting patients for ESD, especially when SM cancer is suspected. The role of diagnostic ESD is increasing. Thank you very much for your attention.